What's going on, everybody? This is the Immortal Men. This is one of the New Age of Heroes books from DC Comics. I'm a longtime Marvel guy. I've fiddled around with other publishers and other books and creative teams and good stuff like that, but I've never really read too much DC. So this whole New Age of Heroes thing, again, I think I mentioned in some other videos, it was sold to me as Marvel, not Marvel. So I decided to check it out. There's not a lot going on at Marvel for me right now. A lot of transitions, a lot of stuff heading into the fresh start. So I jumped in with the New Age of Heroes stuff. I went all in. I've bought every New Age of Heroes, everything that I could find, all the first issues. And I'll have reviews on all of those up shortly if I don't already. Not really sure what order I'm going to throw these up in because I'm doing a few of them today. So this is the Immortal Men, and this is one out of the New Age of Heroes that I was pretty pumped for, pretty interested in. Wasn't really sure how they were going to do this, I mean, the title alone implies that these guys are immortal, so, a big deal for me is, is the hero really in danger? Somebody like Superman, he's so strong, how do you put him in danger? Good stuff like that. So didn't really know what to expect, but I liked what I was seeing here. Being a kid that read comics in the 90s, Jim Lee is a big selling point for me. So if nothing else, I thought, it'd be great to see, what modern day Jim Lee is all about. So this is not a bad cover. There's something a little weird about the perspective to me, but good looking stuff all the same. Now I'll just get right to it. This was hugely, disappointing is a strong word, but you're treated to some very cool, interesting looking characters on the front, but you're immediately thrown in with this boy who's having a dream. He's dreaming of this place called the campus. He's sort of like the sole survivor of his dream, and he sort of like makes it to this place called the campus. All of this is really cool, He sees this mysterious man in his dreams. He feels like the man has something to tell him. So yeah, I mean, this is a good hook. This is cool stuff. But then we kind of kick into the everyday life of this kid, and I'm sorry, but the kid is just not as interesting, and the whole book is basically spent on this kid. Apparently he can swipe memories from people. He has a totally normal sounding family life. He's not, unlikable or anything like that. He's just not that interesting. Just sort of a everyman. You do get to see a little bit of his character here when his psychiatrist is kind of trying to talk him out of, the idea that he can swipe memories. She says, touch me. And when he does touch her, he sees she leaves, kind of lives kind of like a lonely life, just getting high in her apartment by herself. And he decides to tell her, lie to her and say he didn't see anything. So basically, he leaves this appointment. He's headed to a friend's house. And then we cut to some interesting stuff that is not the kid. The kid's name is Caden, by the way. But basically, this is the campus. This is the place that Caden saw in his dream. It is in ruins. There's burned out bodies and good stuff like that. And we're introduced to this guy who looks pretty dangerous. And I can't recall his name off the top of my head. I think it's just The Hunt. Again, I'm not sure on the names, and I'm not hot on a lot of these names, but it is what it is. This is The Hunt. He does seem pretty dangerous. Apparently, he's been offing a bunch of the Immortals, and this lady here is his boss. She's the Infinite Woman. She has a cool design. I like the way she looks here. She does look dangerous as well. But basically, their little conversation is interrupted by this sort of shadowy figure up here, and this is, I guess, kind of a big reveal or a big cameo here. This is one of the characters from the big Dark Knight Metal event. I guess this is the Batman who laughs, and he is terrifying. I have to say, this is one of the scarier things I've seen in a book. Scarier designs. All of these little robins on chains and stuff. It's just all so creepy. But basically, the Infinite Woman says she invented war, and the Batman who laughs compliments her, saying, she did a great job. But not really sure what kind of part he's going to play in all this. But basically, it's revealed that they're looking for the kid Caden as well. So that takes us back to this sort of subway scene where it looks like there's some utility workers down here. And we're introduced to Ghost Fist. He did appear briefly in Caden's dream, but basically he apparently just teleports the utility workers away. And I think it says he teleported to some unsavory corner of New Jersey or something, which is not cool, man. But we are also introduced to, Stray, which is sort of the feral, animalistic Immortal Man, and trying to remember this guy's name. Reload. Okay, his name is Reload. And Timber, who's this sort of Native American type character. But yeah, they're basically saying, why did we run? Why did we leave our brothers and sisters to die, presumably at the campus? And, Reload said, I was given orders by the Immortal Man himself to save this kid. And so they had to fulfill that because they think the kid can save them all, etc., etc. So that's pretty interesting stuff. And they are fighting these kind of creatures that they found on the subway. And we'll skip a few pages, but suffice to say, Caden sees the man with the eyes, that he feels like he has something to tell him in the dream. He follows the man. He's separated from the train. The people on the train turn into these hell beasts, and then we're treated to a really cool speech here from Reload, and a really cool scene where they sort of jump in. And he says, you've known who we are this whole time. We're the Immortal Men. Now get up and fight, as he gets the shit choked out of him. It's the book to dwell so much on this kid when you have all these really weird and cool and interesting heroes and villains. Spend so much time on the kid. They give a cool speech. They tell the kid to get up and fight. He's just getting the shit choked out of him in the corner. Really embarrassing. I don't think they realized when they wrote this how bad they were, blowing it with this kid. He doesn't do anything cool. He doesn't cause any trouble like the new guy in the book, like the new guy in the story, like, oh, I got my mentor killed, etc., etc. But it's just not interesting. You fill the cover with characters like this, and formidable looking villains like the Infinite Woman, and the Hunt, and then 90% of the book is just like the kid on trains with his buddies. It's just not, this is disappointing. Disappointing is probably is the right word to describe it. I'm interested in these guys. I'm interested in the setup of the immortal world of the DC universe. What was the campus, before it was destroyed? Good stuff like that. I mean, I am curious as to why the kid is so important. And, swiping memories seems like it could be valuable, especially if you're dealing with immortals and stuff like that. But, he doesn't seem to have any kind of offensive power or any other qualities aside from being inoffensive that would really compel me to keep buying this. I will definitely take a look at number 2, but I'm super on the fence. I mean, I want the book to be about these super cool guys, not really interested in the kid. And I don't know if anybody else feels that way. Definitely, if you read this, let me know what you thought about the setup down below. Is this sort of like Harry Potter's probably not the best comparison, but I think you see where I'm going with this. The kid is just not quite as interesting, but the world is interesting. The supporting cast is interesting. The setup's interesting. you know, it makes you want to know more, but I feel like this was a pretty big misstep. I mean, definitely easy on the eyes, great artwork. You know, the script is well written and stuff. I mean, it's competently written, but it's just, the story is just all about this kid riding trains and having dreams when you could be telling a cool story about these immortal guys. But that's just how I felt. Let me know how you felt below. We'll be buying Immortal Man 2. We'll be checking out the rest of the series. Make sure to leave a like if you liked the video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what New Age of Heroes books you've read, which ones you're going to continue reading. And make sure to click the bell, because I do plan on uploading content more and more often. And new comic book day is always right around the corner. Always looking forward to Wednesdays. Let me know what you thought, and thanks for joining me on the Stellar Highway.